Here is Kirkland's breaststroke above water. Doing a pretty good job of setting up here on the starting block. I'd like to see you actually really push off a little bit more. We want to make sure you've got almost that front weighted start going on, but really push through with that front leg to get you out a little bit further. You're still traveling here at full speed. You're going through that pull up. Take your time. We want to make sure that that pull happens just before you slow down, and then that kick is going to happen just before you slow down and then hit the surface. As we see, you're just kind of really spinning your arms, spinning your legs. We're going to have a lot better angle on that kick, but I really believe that you're leading out with those knees, and we need to think about keeping those knees closer together and just pulling those heels up and getting your feet turned out and then trying to push the water straight back from there. Trying to think about pulling or pushing the water back with the ball of your foot or even the arch. As we see you coming here for the turn, got a little bit of that lift up, and you're also pulling that head to the side. We want to make sure that you're coming straight into the wall, coming straight back out. One of the ways we're going to be able to do that is thinking about trying to drive those knees up directly underneath you and having your head go straight back. That's going to allow you to travel in the least amount of space. But the one other thing you're going to want to do is just before your feet are hitting the wall, you're going to put more and more pressure on that left shoulder. That's going to help rotate your feet up so that they're at a bit of an angle, and then you're going to be able to push off on your side instead of on your stomach. As we see you go, there was a non-existent underwater pull and underwater kick. You can't afford to ever miss out on the underwater pull and underwater kick for breaststroke. We want to make sure that you're always getting that stuff in. As we see you kind of coming in here for the finish, want to make sure that at this point in time you are trying to start judging that finish so that you're going to be able to finish on one last long pull and not taking a little stroke or a long one. Worked out just perfectly that last stroke you took ended up being a good, strong, powerful finishing stroke. Nice job. Here is Kirkland's breaststroke underwater. As we see, you get right into that pole. We want to wait a lot longer and make sure get a glide there at the end. You're already starting to try and recover those hands, and we want to make sure that you are recovering a lot tighter closer to your body. As you finish that underwater pull, make sure you're just sliding your hands, almost crossing them over underneath your body. The other thing we're seeing is you're trying to see where you're going. Okay, I know you dislike breaststroke quite a bit, but we've got to be able to get some of the most fundamentals in there, so then you're going to be able to make it a lot quicker. As you do come up to the surface, you're coming up really pretty high here. We always want to make sure you're as close to that straight line as we can possibly get. As we look at those elbows, you're pulling those elbows back real far. We want to make sure that your elbows are almost right underneath your shoulders so that you're going to be able to squeeze those elbows together to get a much stronger pull. As we look at your kick, you do tend to lead out with those knees real far. You've got a ton of space in between those knees. As you hopefully remember from the Rebecca Sony video, she did mention you want to keep those knees about hip width apart. So we want to make sure that you are trying to change it from your heels being inside your knees as they are in this point in time to having your heels outside of your knees, so then you're going to be able to generate a lot more power on that kick. They do eventually get out there, but I'd like to see it to happen a little bit sooner in that stroke. You are overlapping things. You're getting that kick to pretty much happen as your arms are going forward and your pull is already starting before your kick is finishing. So make sure you're spending a little bit more time trying to get a glide in, get that press on your chest as you do on butterfly to be able to stretch that stroke out. As we go through the turn, really think about trying to drive those knees up straight underneath you, so then we can actually work on getting that backwards flip turn going through. As we push off the wall, head is up, streamline. We got to fix that thing. That's got to be a habit. You're also missing that underwater pull and underwater kick. That can be one of those things that can make and break a breaststroke, and we got to make sure that you're always doing those as best you can. Really think about getting that high elbow catch and pushing the water back. Your underwater pull for butterfly should be very similar to what we see on butterfly. As you see going for the finish here, you do finish on a good long strong stroke. That would be the stroke that I would probably like to see you try and do almost the entire breaststroke. So make sure you're working on just trying to lengthen it out and not rush the stroke nearly as much. Nice job, Kirkland.